Could it be that he hasn't appeared? No matter what the crowd discussed, Guchunga remained focused, staring at Long Ting. Do you have any last words to say? Chunga Guchunga, do you think you can kill me? Chunga, you still don't understand? I want to kill you. It's as simple as killing an insignificant insect. Long Ting, that brain-damaged Long Outyin, is truly finished. You can only blame it on being born in the wrong era. As Guchunga prepared to end Long Ting's life, he suddenly realized that Long Ting was about to break through. This is a common move for a child of fate. This phenomenon signifies that Lord Long Ting is about to break through. The wounds on Long Ting's body began to slowly heal. He laughed loudly, surprised. Guchunga? Today, fate is in my hands. But Guchunga still paid no mind, continuing to control the giant arm to strike at him. This time, 2 arms struck at once. This is the true dragon's aura of Lord Long Ting. I knew it, Lord Long Ting is naturally invincible. How could he lose to an outsider? Long Ting flew out from the smoke, his figure growing massive. He grabbed Guchunga's 2 giant hands with both hands and pushed them away. Guchunga smiled, softly saying, a frog at the bottom of the well. More arms appeared, striking Long Ting so hard that his mouth began to bleed. Long Ting couldn't withstand it and had no choice but to retreat several hundred meters. Looking at Guchunga's giant avatar, Long Ting still wasn't afraid. Your avatar, though powerful, is still not enough to defeat me. That's why I said, you still haven't seen the distance between us. After speaking, he raised his hand to cover his lips, whispering the incantation, Wuzhong Immortal Formula. Avatar Protection, Shunling Order. Long Dang's face turned pale, trembling so much that no blood came to his face, stuttering, no. Impossible. Before him, countless long swords appeared from the space, all pointing directly at him. The power of the laws, impossible. How could you? He turned and ran, trembling as he said, this person in front of me is the true monster. Chunga upward punishes the true king, downward strikes the rebellious immortal. The fate dispute card decreased by 1. As soon as the words were spoken, thousands of long swords flew toward Long Dang. Long Dang's fate value was reduced to 0. He only managed to shout one word. The earth seemed to be pierced. A huge explosion followed. Amid the swirling dust and smoke, Long Dang's subordinates could no longer feel his presence. They held in agony, our master lost just like that. The human cultivators also couldn't believe their eyes. This was the sealing divine ability of the 7th princess of the Sea King's palace, but its power this time was multiplied by who knows how many times. The information board showed, task, killed a child of fate, Long Dang, completed. Rewards being calculated. Fate value of the child of fate, 0, subtraction rule activated. Obtained Yang treasure of the heavenly Tao. Task calculation complete, rewards 3,000 fate points, 15,000 destiny points. A subordinate ran over to ask Guchunga, Master, what should we do with those people? He remained expressionless, turning around and simply saying one word, kill. Upon hearing Guchunga's command, the young cultivators standing nearby immediately rushed forward to attack the demon race. Due to the huge power disparity, those demons could only desperately flee. Chunga quickly spread the word. Guchunga, the young master of the Chongqinggu family, using his mid-stage Void God Realm strength, easily suppressed the peak Void God Realm of the genius Long Dang, directly causing his death. The Chongqinggu family cannot be offended. Gu Linger seemed somewhat regretful, though she didn't know what she was regretting. Senior brother Gu is truly a genius. His talent and qualifications are awe-inspiring. I've long known I cannot stand shoulder to shoulder with him, but I will also let the world know. The reincarnation of the ancient emperor is no empty title. Chunga, let's disperse. Next, everyone should focus on improving your strength. After all, the inheritor of the demon palace is still hiding in the dark corners. When that day comes, I hope you all won't drag me down. An elder from the Long Dang clan sighed, Master, are we just going to let outsiders kill Long Dang like this? Long Dang has been proud and arrogant since birth. Looking down on everyone. Fate encountered this hurdle, it can only be said he brought it upon himself. I just didn't expect that he would have to pay with his life this time. Chunga, but after all, he is the legitimate successor of our clan, so we can't act recklessly. There's a slave seal here, and if we truly act, we'll suffer a great loss. Chang'e, it seems those hidden in the shadows have concealed themselves well. They didn't even care about Long Dang's life, and didn't even plan to clean up the body. But that's fine, if they know to be wary, then in the future, on this continent, I may be able to act even more unrestrained. System announcement, the Heavenly Dao's Baoyang is now open. Chang'e, congratulations to the host for obtaining the original martial Taishan dragon. Gu Chang'e immediately merged. This drop of 5-colored true dragon blood actually made my physique, vitality, and defense all increase so much. This system is indeed impressive, it can actually help me develop in an all-round direction. Why hasn't Mingkong left yet? Do you have something to say to me? Seeing her slightly nervous. Are you afraid I'll come after you for this? Feeling guilty? Who's guilty? It's written all over your face, and you still want to argue? Actually, you don't need to feel too guilty, being born beautiful isn't your fault. Long Dang dared to fall for you, and of course, he deserved to die. But speaking of which, even though I didn't make a move, Mingkong won't let him off, right? What do you mean? Hurry up and speak. What's your plot against Long Dang? If your reason is valid enough, I don't mind handing his corpse over to you. Once you've said everything, I'll hand him over to you. Truly unbelievable. Mingkong still refused to believe him. Seeing Gu Chang'e so thick-skinned, she didn't know what to say. I heard that Long Dang has a drop of blood from the true dragon within him, that ancient and mysterious dragon blood. That thing is useful to me. Gu Chang'e was slightly stunned. That seems to be the 5-colored true dragon blood I just swallowed. You gave yourself away just by mentioning something good? In this regard, you really haven't changed at all. She turned to leave, not expecting much. Wait. The 5-colored true dragon blood I got was from killing Long Dang. It was a reward from the system. So, the drop of blood Mingkong mentioned should not be the one I just refined. First, you set your sights on Yiling's inheritance, now you're eyeing the true dragon blood. You clearly took it from me, but now you're accusing me of being selfish. Mingkong. Mingkong, when did you become so venomous? Mingkong turned around, clasped her hands into a blade, and coldly slashed at Gu Chang'e. He skillfully dodged. Feeling extremely ashamed, right? I guessed it, didn't I? Gu Chang'e, you. Is it just Long Dang's corpse? This isn't something I can't give her. But, you have to call me husband first. Mingkong was unable to contain her anger and shouted a single word, you. This drop of 5-colored true dragon blood isn't easy to find. Don't you want to consider it? But she needs to be quick. True dragon blood is so precious, I might change my mind later. Not wanting to lose the true dragon blood. Mingkong gritted her teeth and called Gu Chang'e husband. Gu Chang'e pressed further and said, I didn't hear clearly. Mingkong fell into his trap and angrily shouted, husband. She then pushed Gu Chang'e aside, this body is mine. Long Dang's massive body, without a single wound, made Mingkong secretly think. Did Gu Chang'e use some secret technique to preserve the body intact? Or was it from the start that he planned to give Long Dang to me? You bear demonic powers, and you don't plan to swallow this true dragon corpse? If he's important to you, you can keep him. If Mingkong likes it, the husband will naturally give it to you. But I didn't expect Mingkong to think of me first. It really moved me. If you can see it now, it's not too late. The thing is already in front of me, yet I was still thinking about it. What a foolish woman. But, this actually makes me believe more. Even though I did nothing, I just kept growing, thanks to Mingkong, and even my cultivation might surpass mine. In the end, I might only be able to act in a soft way. When someone willingly gives up face, how could they take revenge? Looks like my behavior over this period should stop. It would really have a significant impact. It seems I'm still the same as before, an infatuated fool. I remember when I refined Long Dang's corpse, I chose a rather secluded place. Mingkong watched Gu Chang'e leave, filled with thoughts. The Gu Chang'e from the previous life would have never given such a good thing to me. Could it be, because of his inner demon? Now, Long Dang's corpse is in Mingkong's hands, and that ancient clan will probably come and take it. These unnecessary troubles should be resolved sooner rather than later. On a mountain top in the distance, a girl with an angelic appearance suddenly broke into a cold sweat. Gu Chang'e muttered to himself, I am truly a good husband. Under a grove, one woman said, Guchanga defeated Long Dang and suppressed the immortal ancient. He's really our role model. Another woman added, that's right. Not only is Guchanga powerful, but he's also incredibly gentle to his fiancée, and he's so handsome. A man stood in the middle, Don't be fooled by his appearance. What if he's just pretending? He doesn't seem like a good person to me. This made the two women laugh uncontrollably. TSK, senior brother, you're so sour. Exactly. This made the person called senior brother angry, and he shouted loudly, you too. They began to argue and didn't notice a beam of light escaping from the sky. A woman wearing a pink dress with white wings flew toward her territory and landed in front of a large palace, thinking to herself, after circling around like this for several days, I should have shaken him off, right? However, she still felt very uneasy and looked around, but I really didn't expect that Guchanga would give Long Dang's corpse to his fiancé. She continued to mutter to herself, maybe I can take advantage of this news to win over the dragon clan. I'll stop here and notify my clan to come to assist. In a corridor, Guchanga and his two subordinates stood there. Guchanga said, after chasing me for so many days, you finally stopped. Long Dang's corpse is a precious thing. How could I let you take away the news? Guchanga also thought to himself, of course, this can't be done for nothing. I need to find a way to make sure Yu Mingkong doesn't find out. In Guchanga's imagination, Yu Mingkong blushed and softly said, thank you, husband. Guchanga ordered his two subordinates, lock down the city. Kill anyone from outside. The two subordinates clasped their fists, yes, master. In the palace, 3 emperors, what are you doing here? The one called the 3 emperors hurried over and said, Shwer, wooer, what are you two doing here? The child with gray-black wings replied. 3 emperors, I heard that you went to watch that battle, and Long Dang has already lost? The child in a yellow dress with white wings said, that Guchanga is just a small human. What despicable methods did he use? Also, why have so many people gathered? Someone in the crowd shouted, we're discussing how to avenge Long Dang, and how to kill that Guchanga. Another person said, a small human like Guchanga, whose strength is far weaker than Long Dang's, must be a despicable person full of schemes and tricks. A woman with 2 horns added, I heard that Guchanga succeeded only by sneak attacking. If it had been a fair fight, he would have been the one to die. The 3 emperors only shook their head and sighed, saying, stop arguing. Guchanga's strength is very strong, and discussing it here won't solve anything. But people in the crowd still shouted, with so many of us, every one of us is an elite, are we still afraid of him? We must kill him and avenge Long Dang. That's right. Kill Guchanga. Kill Guchanga. Kill Guchanga. Kill Guchanga. This surprised the 3 emperors. She frowned and said, you're right. I was also there at the time. That despicable human used all kinds of dirty tricks. Long Dang didn't even get a chance to strike before he died in resentment. Applause sounded from behind. A voice came, good. This frightened the 3 emperors. When she realized that it was Guchanga speaking, her face darkened. Guchanga stood behind her, sneering. The story is quite interesting, and vividly told. Can I listen to it too? A woman in the crowd shouted, who are you, daring to trespass into our clan's territory? Who allowed you to come in? Guchanga signaled for them to be quiet and said, so many friends are here, can't I just visit the door for a while? The 3 emperors turned around, forced a smile, and said, young master, are you joking? Guchanga walked in and asked, what's wrong? Don't you invite me to sit down for a drink? A young woman asked the 3 emperors, who is this person? The 3 emperors, sweating on her forehead, anxiously said, Shwer, don't ask. Guchanga adjusted his body while walking, smiling, I already smell the wine. He then walked up to the table, poured himself a cup, drank a sip, and said, this wine is indeed good, it has a lot of immortal fruits inside. A monster said, this is a wine unique to our immortal ancient continent. Outsider humans are not worthy to drink it. Another person shouted, that arrogant human. You're just as despicable as Guchanga. Wait for us to unleash our anger upon you. Guchanga leisurely sat down and said, you're right. Guchanga is indeed a despicable person. From what I know, he particularly enjoys slaughtering the innocent. Especially those who speak ill of him behind his back. Right? Soon, Gu Chang's gaze turned bloodshot, forcing the three emperors to kneel down. The three emperors trembled and said, "Young master, what are you talking about?" "Those are malicious rumors, young master, please don't take them seriously." Compared to Gu Chang'e, Long Dang is like the faint light of a firefly a month ago. As soon as she finished speaking, it provoked the anger of the crowd. They split into two sides and shouted loudly. "Three emperors! What are you saying? What nonsense are you spouting? Why is the three emperors defaming Long Dang? Long Dang is the young leader of all the clans in the immortal ancient continent. He could never lose to a human." Gu Chang'e said, "That's right, what are you talking about? How dare Gu Chang'e compare himself to Long Dang?" This shocked the crowd. "What? He says he is Gu Chang'e?" Gu Chang'e extended his hand and sneered, "I heard you were looking for me? I wonder what instructions you have." Then, the monsters charged forward, shouting loudly, "We were still worried about not being able to find you. Who would have thought you'd come to us willingly? Let's rush up and take his life." The three emperors hurriedly tried to stop them. "Be careful. Don't act recklessly." Seeing that the outcome couldn't be changed, the three emperors shouted at Gu Chang'e, "Gu Chang'e, if you have the guts, come at me. Please spare the younger generation of my clan." Gu Chang'e coldly asked, "Spare you? They wanted to kill me. So if I spare them, then who will spare me?" Gu Chang'e displayed his power and decided to just let them all die. The palace was destroyed, and one by one, everyone was sent flying and died on the spot. The palace collapsed. Amid the ruins, Gu Chang'e grabbed the three emperors by the neck. She pleaded, "Please, don't kill me." Gu Chang'e said, "You saw things you shouldn't have seen. Tell me, how can you blame me for this? Right?" The three emperors trembled and answered, "I swear on my heart's path that I will never speak of this. Please spare my life." Gu Chang'e coldly said, "Rather than a hard oath, I trust the words of the dead more." Then, the three emperors and everyone in the palace died. Outside, people were discussing, what happened? Why does it smell so strongly of blood? It seems to be from a human cultivator. Catch him. Gu Chang'e prepared to enter the tunnel. Two people appeared and blocked his path. "Stop, stand still, you bastard." Gu Chang'e turned around and sneered, "Oh no, I've been spotted." One of the people in the group shouted, "Who is he, daring to enter our territory, killing and forcing people to this extent?" Boom. A loud noise. Yu Mingkong appeared. She landed on the ground, and all the subordinates around her bowed their heads. "Welcome, Empress, from your retreat." Yu Mingkong thought to herself, this retreat was really smooth, and it was Gu Chang'e who solved my troubles. From the looks of it, his attitude toward me doesn't seem as harsh as before. Could it really be because of the influence of his demonic nature? She furrowed her brows and continued to think, but in this life, how can he control his demonic nature? Perhaps his attitude toward me now is just to deceive me. If that's the case, it would be terrifying. As Yu Mingkong walked out of the cliff, she thought, although this behavior might not be unnecessary for someone as clever as him, to avoid a repeat of the tragedy, I still need to become stronger. She gazed at the horizon. According to the timeline, the immortal spirit's birth is not far off. Now, only I know where it will appear. This time, I must seize it first. She shouted to her subordinates, "Head east, to the 100-Ring Mountains." In a grand hall of the Tianyin clan, an orange light flashed. The energy directly entered Haiming's body. Haiming widened his eyes and roared, "In less than a month, I actually broke through to the Saint Lord realm. I must thank that supreme existence for all of this." He stood up and said excitedly, "Now, in the clan, almost all the elders and exceptionally talented disciples are cultivating this immortal technique. Even the two recently awakened ancestors are extremely interested in it. If this continues, within half a year at most, I will break through to the Wind King realm and become the most famous genius in the entire Tianyin clan." Thinking of Gu Chang'e, Haiming muttered to himself, "I really want to see that supreme existence again. Without him, I might still be a useless waste waiting for death." Just as Haiming was feeling proud of himself, a voice shouted from outside, "Haiming! Are you in there?" His sister walked over. "Because you gave them the supreme immortal technique, The two ancestors have already emerged from their retreat and want to meet you. Haiming opened the door, feeling uneasy. The two ancestors want to see me? That's right.